Dream. And real talk, I just wanted to shout out to, Red Dream, as far as what he was talking about, kind of like breaking down the game in air quotes, which, it is what it is. I got to go back and listen to it because I had a lot of it on mute. I was mainly in the chat. Some people were in their feelings. I had a conversation with China White, so I'm gonna go through her. I was clicking through some of her videos and stuff. I gotta give her credit. She got good thumbnails, good vibe. But I still gotta listen to some of what she's actually saying. I only listened to a little bit. But one of the things she said, and a lot of black people think this, a lot of dudes think this, I've heard this before, is this idea that tricking and simping are the same. Like if you're a trick, you're a simp. Okay, I'll give her that that's what women think. But it's so fine. But that's no. No. I disagree with that. Number one, here's the difference. Uh, as far as the context of what simp is used today, simping is when you're giving value away. And I'm talking about value that you consider value. You're giving it away in order to get something in return. Let's say it's kind of like a form of false investing. Another word for it could be you're pandering. Yeah, appreciate it. Another form of it could be you're pandering because because you're not really hell. I'll even go as far as to say you're not even looking for anything in return. What you're essentially doing is you're just pandering for brownie points. But that's like a different level of a simp. Most of the time, when a dude is simping, what they're essentially doing is they're giving away value for the potential. Alan Roger Curry will call it the possibility of sex. And they're doing a lot of things for the possibility. And this is their problem because in their mind, it's the point is they're giving away shit and not getting nothing back. Tricking is just the act of using money and only money to get a woman to give the pussy up. That's really it. Now we can go into details of tricking, like dudes, in my opinion, tricked by degrees of separation. Dudes that they living up under their parents or living up under bitches, but they got the fresh Jordans, the fresh shoes. They got the 22-inch rims and all this stuff can be traced back to what women want, but not really what they want. But we're not gonna get into that. That's more advanced level. What I'm gonna talk about to keep it in its basic form is it's pretty much using money to mainly using money to create a sexual outcome. I'm not here to defend it right now. I'm here to just say what it is. That's not what it's like. For instance, Russell Wilson is a simp. Russell Wilson is not a trick. It's not the same thing. And a lot of times the reason why the tricking stuff makes black people so upset, it's a culture issue. That's the only reason. That's the only reality of it. People remember the video I did where I said black men really want love and affection from a woman and not really respect. The biggest reason why black men don't want to do anything as far as economically for a woman is because the more you do for a woman economically, the more the economics is the reason why they're there in your mind. And that could be true. I'm not saying that's not true. But the reality is that bothers black men in a way that does not typically bother other group of men in the same laws of averages. Just like a white man doesn't want to believe that white supremacy is the reason why anybody's really checking for them like that. They want to push that to the back of their mind, so they create delusions in their mind to make it seem like that's not really what's going on. Yeah, what's up, Jim? What's up, Dollar Washer? Man, I just put this shit on there. It was probably the phone that what it is the phone like autocorrect shit that I spell right and makes it wrong. It ain't that I don't know how to spell. FYI. I can always change it when I can always change my titles. Black Guru said it's not the black manosphere if it's not an outbreak of dick policing every 4 to 6 months. Yeah, absolutely. And I just wanted to point that out. Like, That's not the same thing. And the truth is, a dude, and here's another thing I want to point out. And this is something that Red Supreme said. And I would like to have a conversation with him with this. I could believe he's doing that shit happens in real life, probably on the ground, on the when I say real life, on the ground, and he sees that because I've seen that. But let's be clear here: it's very, very, very few black men that go overseas. Number one, so this idea that it's an epidemic. The thing that kills me with a lot of dudes that they put out there, and he didn't do it that bad, but I've heard this, is this idea that there's dudes on YouTube that are pretending to basically be players when in actuality all they're doing is going overseas and tricking. I think that is completely overblown online and how much people are doing that. And I'll tell you, dudes that advocate for tricking, number one, dudes that advocate for tricking, dudes that outright tell you they're tricking, you know those are not the dudes because they're outright telling you they tricks. They outright tell it, or even the dudes that don't trick, but they're outright telling you that they don't have an issue with it, or they don't have like it's something that if it made sense for them to do in that environment, they would do it. They're already telling you what they could or would do. There is no deception. There is no I need to look like I'm that nigga and I got all these women. Ain't no real talk. It ain't that many dudes showing receipts like that to begin with. You got a lot of dudes, they're not even really showing receipts, let alone showing receipts and lying on their dick. And so I think a lot of people like to create that scenario in order to kind of have a cohesive argument about people going overseas. My thing is, no black men are going, or it's completely overblown. It really is. It really fucking is. And this is the type of shit that tells you what a lot of people think is important in life. The only reason why this matters is because you have dudes that, like, for instance, it's the same conversation when we play the money doesn't matter conversation. Whenever, whether it's Jason Black or Kevin, they try to set the game rules on economics. What dudes try to do is say, "Nuh-uh, economics don't matter. What matters is that I get more bitches." So what you're essentially saying is, fuck economics. What that bitch says matters is what I'm gonna go with, because that benefits me and that makes me look good. No, a bitch dealing with you, first of all, and this is one thing I will say, because I did see a couple of stuff. Like, one thing China White said is men use women for different things unless they get the dude that they feel encompasses everything they want. I'll give her that. But also, one thing that people don't like to do is women use men for sex too. Women see dudes as concubines as well. You just don't hear them frame it that way, because they're in a sexual mode. So they're not gonna be on some like white man calling a chick a nigger bitch while he fucking her. They're not gonna see it that way, because that fucks up their kind of sexual fantasy in their own mind. But real talk, they see you as concubines when they're not wanting to fuck, and you're broke, constantly, or they can't bring you around their friends because you ain't got the right social status. That's when they start thinking about that, and that's when they may start disrespecting you. And a lot of black men have been programmed to kind of accept those relationships as that's just how black women are. No, they just see you a certain type of angle. They don't respect you for economics. It was just, Tommy Lee even said that. Yeah, man, he might be doing this, doing that. No, at the end of the day, that's them justifying what they want sexually, and that's cool. And the reason why black men, for the most part, don't care is because black men is getting their biological imperative, their biological need met. So men aren't gonna care. This is the same reason why men have no problem being a side dude. They're like, I'll be a concubine if I can get sexual access to the women that I'm sexually attracted to. I'll be a concubine all day. That's how black men see it. Black men will gladly see their patriarchal position for easy pussy. Most black men, if you present them with that scenario, they'll do it. By the way, that's what polygamy is. That's what polygamy is, as black men do it. So what happens is, and a lot of these niggas ain't even tricking to the extent that people like to say they are. It's just a lot of these dudes, They argue the position of, well, if I wanted to, you ain't gonna tell me shit. You're not gonna shame me into doing something because of your motherfucking. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. Like you, people are really out here thinking that people give a fuck about what somebody else thinks about what they're doing, and that's really the position that a lot of people are taking. It's not so much the dudes are like super pro trick. They're like, who the fuck are you to tell me about anything? That's really what goes on. That's really what's going on when you see a lot of people push back to the extent that they do. It's not so much it's not so much that they're out here every chick they deal with, they just giving her money and stuff. That's not what, like, we know people know where they are. And those dudes you don't even really hear dudes really complain about. Think about it. A lot of these dudes are not talking about domestic tricking. They're talking about international tricking. And it's something out that bothers them a lot more than what domestic tricking does. And I don't understand it. I need somebody to explain that to me. I'm curious. I would like to ask Red that. Now, as far as it going overseas, I've calmed down because I've had the opportunity to talk to somebody that actually broke it down as to some of the why these people are doing what they're doing, some of the background, some of the things that I might have missed that happened way back when, as far as why they're saying what they're saying. And even though I disagree with it, it makes more sense. So I can kind of accept it a little bit. Even though everything I say, I stand on what I said and what needs to be done about it. But this idea, it, the truth is, let me say this too to be straight up. If you're a dude and you're tricking and you're trying to pretend you're a player when in actuality you're tricking, yes, that is lame. That's lame as fuck. Number one, but see, I've yet to see anybody do that because the dudes that outright say they're tricking, they're not sitting there trying to pretend they're these players. And yes, I know that happens in real life, in the field or on the ground. I'm talking about online because you would see people do reaction videos. You would have seen that. And everybody never wants to get specific on who and what is doing that. I don't care if they're dating coaches or what. If they fronting, they fronting. You don't even hear dating coaches call other dating coaches out. So I don't even know if it's, I don't know. But you don't hear it. I understand the difference between polygamy and polyamory. But the thing about polygamy is backdoor matriarchy. Because because first of all, the way Arabs do polygamy is not the same as the way you can't do polygamy the same way. Because they have their whole society is structured around that. I mean, like even African society is not structured around that. The society is structured more around matriarchy. So no, even if you're a dude dealing with multiple females, this fantasy that dudes have in their head that multiple women, your women are not psychologically wired that way anymore. They never were. They never were. So understand that they're in that situation because they want to be. The same women, R. Kelly did that. And what happened? Women started saying how she was in the cult and all this stuff he did, even though R. Kelly's famous. So no, see, you only see one dude, multiple women. So everything you're filling in a blank to all the fantasies that come along with that. You're not seeing how all the ways that can blow up. The fact that are you really believing that that's going how it's going to be for like a long? I mean, marriages to one person don't last that way. Oh, so we're really going to believe that the reason why most marriages don't last is because people don't really want each other that are there? You got women blowing up relationships with NBA players. Like, are you serious? So show me this super nigga everybody wants and everybody's just gonna be loyal to and never do nothing ever, no matter what they do. But my point is, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about what somebody's doing. Because the truth is, I know people are full of crap because you never hear people shame black men for going to the strip club. So I already understand that people's ideas of what tricking is really bent on emotion and nothing else. Even women, oh yeah, I went to the strip club. They don't think of the strip club as tricking, even though that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it's built on. But even women, if you ask them, do you consider a strip club trip? No, no, no. And so that right there tells me a lot about what people really think about what's really going on. It's now, well, the women are always going to be against Jews going overseas because that takes away their market share. So of course they're going to be upset, and I expect them to be upset. But see, this on the flip side, dudes are doing it, and dudes want to come out and say, yeah, that's because y'all niggas trying to act like y'all players. That's because y'all trying to act like y'all understand the game the same way I do. Let me be very clear here. If a dude was out here going overseas doing sex tourism and then coming back bragging about all the women he's dealing with and trying to put that on the equal playing field as a dude that's in the United States, yes, I would call that out. I would call that out. Number one, a lot of dudes talk to, this is one of the things we talked about privately. A lot of dudes talk too much about what goes down. And folks don't understand how that attention can be negative because a lot of y'all are very thirsty. And a lot of y'all, again, once y'all see something that actually looks like a female and not a water hog that y'all can actually put your hands on, a lot of y'all don't know how to act. And that's really what it is. And yes, that is lame. That is lame. That really is. But see, to the extent that that happens, that doesn't happen as much as people like to act like that happens. Not at the expense of things that I know people don't talk about that happens all the time. And then again, if this conversation was about dudes being lame, like where Supreme kept it, I completely understand that. And I could accept that as somebody's opinion and we have a conversation. But when people start reaching into the underage stuff, now you're trying to make something up because why? Why? Like, what's the point? Because you're not going to stop it. Doing that ain't going to stop it. Doing that is not going to stop people from going. Like, you're not going to scare people because people go overseas for different reasons. Polygamy does not make women replaceable. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. So, again, it doesn't. No, that's not true. No, that's not true. That's not true. Like, a lot of y'all be making these assumptions about what stuff is, and y'all don't really know what you're talking about. And even, well, you don't need the trick to make women replaceable. You don't. You just need to be willing. First of all, you don't need the trick if you're actually willing to get right about understanding rejection and get comfortable with rejection and stop feeling like, you need somebody to say yes. See, the big reason why tricking is so a lot of dudes like to trick is because a lot of dudes don't sit well with rejection. A lot of dudes will sit there and tell you about the time factor, but the truth is most of you all ain't got that kind of money to be making that type of calculation anyway. And y'all got to understand too, a lot of dudes that got paper like that, they can use the possibility of money, just like women use the possibility of sex to lure women in without even having to spend money. You can create an environment around you, kind of like the Great Gatsby, that simulates a certain type of environment based on lifestyle you're living, and you can control that without hyper spending a lot as a marketing way to allure women as a lifestyle. You can do that. But see, and that's technically not tricky. Exactly, prototype. I'm glad you added that in because I don't know everything about the dynamics. I do know that ADOS men are not sophisticated at all. A lot of it's not sophisticated at all when it comes to this topic. Man, my thing about street dudes is I can care less about street politics. Like to be completely honest, I could care less about street politics. I could care less about the nigga shit back and forth. I just don't. I don't. And a lot of this BS is street politics. And it's gynocentric politics at that. Because everything is rotated around the attention that a female is giving. So you are automatically putting a woman on a pedestal. My thing is, if you broke, but you got game enough to get a one. Get a one. Look, even BGS said. BGS said this. He said that if you're a dude and you know how to lay pipe and you're doing that for free, you're an idiot. If the only thing the woman has to do is show up, you're an idiot. And he's absolutely right. And BGS, like Red Supreme, is out of LA. You are an idiot. If that woman is not doing something for you, was let's be absolutely clear, most of these dudes, that includes your dating coaches, are not getting women to actively do things for them. These women do not work for them. Not, very few of them got that type of level of sophistication. That's why they don't talk about it, because they're not at the level that, and when you see that level, you know how to compare and contrast. Ain't none of them got women doing shit for them. A lot of them are just giving away free dick, which who will have them? That look a certain type. That's it. I don't care why. My thing is they can be mad, just don't lie. Just don't sit, because you're not just hurting them, you're hurting the whole space. That's my thing. And it ain't just street dudes. I'm not gonna say it ain't just street dudes. But my thing is, I'm done with the politics. This is a perfect example how men sexually politic. It's a perfect example as to how men sexually politic with each other, and it's not really productive. It's not productive at all. It's not productive at all. Anyway, appreciate the super chat, Harumbi. And the thing is, like I said, I'm not against. Here's the thing: I'm not pro tricking anti-social skills, but a lot of times dudes put too much of their emotion. I'm not even talking about Red Supreme here. I'm talking about in general. Red Supreme actually did a good stream, but too many dudes put their own like, I gotta be better than another nigga into it. They don't look at it from a cold academic standpoint and break it down. They look at it like I gotta be I'm a better nigga than you, and this is why. I'm like, nigga, okay, you a better nigga than me. I don't care. I don't care. Like you act like what? I don't care. I could care less. Man, people like they give a fuck about nigga. I need to be seen the right way. I don't give a fuck. Do you know how many times dudes, people go out of their way to tell me I'm short, as if I don't fucking know? I gave a fuck about giving a fuck what people think a long time ago. And that's another big problem nobody talks about is people care about what people think. And we are like, I've never been one to bow to peer pressure. I have never been one to bow to peer pressure. And that's the thing, and that's high school minded, where a lot of dudes, women too, but I'm talking about dudes right now, where they will, and this is not just street dude. They will give a fuck. They will start comparing. Like, think about it. Niggas are comparing and contrasting what a bitch thinks about them. These hoes love me, nigga. You broke though. It don't matter. I get buns though. So because you get buns, okay, you're a concubine though. Nigga, you ain't getting no pussy. Nigga, I could buy that shit if I real. You ain't no real man then. These are the same chicks that'll gladly go to Dubai, and you don't see them letting them do God knows what, right? And then they'll come back to you and kiss you in the fucking mouth. I got a question. What do you think them women? What do you think women? Let's say women get in front of white boys that got paper. What do you think they say to them about you niggas at home? What do you think? For the few females that weren't on a U-Haul truck and actually in these after parties, what do you think if they say they got a man? What they got a man? What do you think they say? You really think they be like, yeah, man, I got a man and he don't give me shit. He don't give me shit, but I'm with him because I'm down with him. What do you think you think they won't throw you under the bus? You want to know? Let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this just like this. This is gonna hurt some people's feelings. Don't tell me shit about you about being a player or about what somebody's saying. I'm talking about this for anybody. If that big, you want to know how? If I'll say you a better nigga than me, if you got chicks, at least one chick, but more than one chick pregnant, and you got a kid, and she ain't, and she working with you and not charging you child support, well, nigga, you a better nigga than me. You a better man than me. At that point, you can say that, because that's when game actually is gonna be a benefit. Where's that game at? Where's the get out of paying child support game? Where's that at? Because it's amazing how these women that were willing to sleep with y'all are the same women that's willing to take y'all happy asses to court. I thought she really liked you for you. I thought you were that nigga. Why is it as soon as she get a baby out of you niggas, your leadership does it? Because it ain't about that. Because your game, she does what the fuck she wants to do. Now, I'm not going to say you can't fuck it up by being lame. I'm not going to say that. But at the end of the day, she does what the fuck she wants to do. When a chick gets, it ain't game that keeps a female with a dude that knocks her against the fucking wall and puts her head through the wall. That's part of that is stupidity. But it's also, that's her doing what the fuck she wants to do. And dudes like to equate what a woman does, what she wants. I'm not saying that there's not ways to maneuver yourself into a winning situation. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to disavow game. I call it social skills. Social skills is a very important skill for a variety of different reasons other than getting a bitch, but getting a bitch is one. But what I am saying is ultimately that's a woman's decision. That's ultimately a woman's decision. You know, back in the day, all you really needed was a motherfucking job. You didn't need to have all this sophisticated bullshit. And dudes like to sit here and try to make it like that shit is the thing because that's what they want to do to make them feel good about themselves. And I mean, if you want to believe that, go ahead and believe that. But understand that'll put you in like this loop, this fucking bullshit loop that you can't get out of. A lot of dudes are living high school fantasies like for the rest of their life trying to chase that shit. And as you get older, you realize how goofy that is when you hear niggas that are like 40 plus still trying to play by those rules. All right, Archer, you're allowed to say you're a better nigga than me. But if you notice, Archer is usually on our side on these topics. Yeah, and remember, Archer ain't shit. So yeah, Archer, and you know, Archer, you can say you a better nigga than me, because I don't know if I could accomplish that. But what Archer won't tell you is he was providing shelter. Of course, that bitch won't put you on child support. Was she paying you rent though, Archer? Because Archer, you had motherfuckers living up in one of your apartments. So I don't know, Archer. Well, you got custody of your daughter's dollar washer. Did she give you custody? Did you have to fight it? Now, if she gave you custody, it could be part she ain't shit, but it could also be part you were willing. I don't care. Like my thing is, I just want people to flesh shit out. I'm not here to tell people what's right or what's wrong. I just want people to flesh shit out and stop arguing this shit from this campaigning standpoint. I want to campaign for this, a campaign for that. That's the bullshit that gets on my nerves. Because you're not doing anybody any favors when you do that. You're really not. But anyway, y'all, it's been a great conversation. I gotta get out. Okay, you had to fight for it. I still give you credit because you won. You won. But yeah. Hey, you better than a lot of dudes though, Dollar Washer. All right, no, Archer, that's some shit to brag about. Because you a lot of dudes failed where you succeeded. Anyway, I gotta bounce. So I appreciate it. With that being said, make sure you get them likes up. This is Edward signing off. Peace. Hey y'all, make sure y'all go. I'm gonna do this. Make sure it's 72 of y'all watching. I'm gonna share China White's channel. Make sure y'all go check it out. Go through it, comment. Don't do no stupid shit. Do not embarrass me. But she got a good vibe as far as her thumbnails and stuff. Let me know what you think, and then let her know I sent you. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right, I'll share it in the community tab. Give me like 4, not even. Give me like 2 minutes. Check it out. All right. With that being said, because I might do a panel with her on a topic. With that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.